smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe 'cause I want you. Here with me, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love. I look at you, I know it's alright. You read my mind, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe 'cause I want you. Here with me, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love. I don't need another love. Yeah. We do this every day. We do this love for life. You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe 'cause I want you. Here with me, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love.
And everybody, it's another fantastic Sunday night episode of the Triple C Show. The ladies are in house. Our guest tonight is spectacular. First of our run through the end of the year, pretty much of our California friends going to come in, and Pete's going to sit in tonight. We're going to double shot of Pete tonight. It's going to be a good one. We're going to learn a lot about what he does with his channel, and it's pretty special over there. So thank you for joining. Share out the stream. Tell everybody about it. All the ladies will be here tonight. From the core of our team, Miss Minter is in house, coming to join us from the Virginia area. Sammy D's coming in, bringing that Florida sunshine all the way through. Miss Stephanie Kiel is now here in Maryland, bringing up the fun. And of course, from the middle of the country, laughs and smiles coming from Miss Monorail Mollie. Tina Marie is off tonight, but always in spirit with us. She'll be back over the next couple of weeks. You're going to be seeing a lot of Tina. We were just looking over the schedule, and Tina will be joining us a lot. So we're excited to be live here tonight with you, talking about everything Neurodiv Disney. If you're brand new to the show, or if you're a veteran, do me a favor, hit that like tonight. Let's get up 100 likes. Let's hit that subscribe and comment, whether it's live during the show or it is after the show and you're watching the replay. You can leave a comment in the description of the video. Let's go say hello to the ladies. Welcome in, ladies. Hello. Good to see you all here.
Hello.
I'm excited. It's early September. Fall is approaching. We've got a great run through the end of the year to get these holiday season going. So as far as I'm concerned, it's Halloween / Christmas / holiday / anything I can put up to irritate my wife's season. And I enjoy that season. I do. It's a thoroughly enjoyable season. Stephanie, hello to you first.
Oi. I like your wife. Don't irritate her.
Whatever it takes. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you. Having a great weekend. I love the cooler weather. This is awesome.
I'm excited. Glad you're here. Miss Minter, how are things in the East, I guess more of a Western Virginia, not West Virginia, but Western Virginia,
It's good. It's gotten a whole lot cooler out here. Which I'm loving. So fall is on the way.
Nice. I love it. Love it. Love it. Sammy D, bringing up the Florida heat. Still warm down there, I believe.
Oof, we took my sister's 15th or 16th pictures yesterday, and it felt like 108 degrees. So imagine this poor girl with this big dress, and it was so hot. We all went home and we crashed. We were done. It was so hot. The baby was crying. We were just like exhausted. But on a brighter note, we did decorate Halloween already, so we are full blown spooky mode.
And sun like that, you guys must go through a ton of lotion on Joey's arms, so that's suntan lotion. So
it's that and the scissors. He's constantly going through scissors because he's cutting the sleeves off every shirt. So
he went live the other day on Instagram from Target, and he was cutting off arms or shirts on the rack. He just didn't care. He couldn't even stand looking at it. So
it's so bad. But I promise you, he does have shirts with sleeves. He just doesn't wear them.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Good to see you. And Miss Monorail Mollie, hello. How is the center of the country?
Well, it would be a lot better if certain football teams wouldn't be trying to lose.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I'm a little. I don't understand that, but it is what it is. So
it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, all right, well, ladies, I'm excited. Let's get things rolling. Miss Minter is going to take care of welcoming the chat tonight. We've got a good group of people in here already. 40 plus people coming in already to meet our guests tonight. Let's say hello to everybody. Miss Minter, it's your time.
Okay, so hold on. Let me get a couple of last names.
Oh, I meant to buy one of those when I was down at Disney. I'm going to do that next time.
Jen, I'm trying to slap hands with you.
With me? I don't have a hand to slap.
Wait, I'm right
Pete.
here.
All right. So we have in chat tonight Stacy Rogers, Vicky Gillespie, Nathan, Fred O'Malley, Debbie Bernfeld, Paul Engel, Aliens Wear Green Hats, Shelby J, Neurodiv Disney, Jason Thibodeau, The Connections, Debbie Thunert, Daniel Barry, Ace Snoopy, Molly's mom, Jill Watchbrook, Anne Marie Dreher, It's Me, David T, Dave Avriana, Stephanie Kiel, who's also right there.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing?
We have Rob, aka Mr. Disney MUK, and there he is. Donald to my Daisy. Dad. Mark Lingenkamp, Gloria Thibio, Erin Victoria Fletcher, and it just jumped on me. Brandon Schultz, fans of Green Bay Packers, and KWS Tech.
Okay, well, welcome in, everybody. Thank you, Angela, for doing that. And Christy's Corner. We will be saying hello to others along as the show goes on. Angela will be highlighting that throughout the show, and I thank you for taking that responsibility tonight. I appreciate it. Let's talk about last week's show. We had a good show last week. Actually, it's 2 weeks ago. We had a holiday last week. Sammy, let's talk about Mr. Fitzmagic and his time with us.
Yes, so we had a strong show right before the holiday. We learned that Gene's passion behind broadcasting and interviewing, along with personal favorites that ones he interviewed. We discussed parks and Disney, and he also shared his love and expectations on Disney property, especially when he mentioned his love for peach tea. So that was great. We chatted about 3 great channels that Gene follows and heard from about his inspiration and why he loves them. We were able to take a look into the future for Gene and his broadcasting goals. And if the mods can please drop the links from that show, it would be appreciated.
Debbie Bernfeld's on it already as you were talking.
Yeah, nice.
You gotta love that.
Thank you, Debbie. And I encourage everyone to leave a comment on the show with their thoughts. You never know, and there'll be a prize.
Yes. I think I'm going to do a prize next week. I'm going to announce that. We're going to do a prize. I'm looking at the prize bin right now, and we will do a prize next week. So make sure you're tuned in for that. So
I will be going to Jen.
Going to Jen.
Okay, so tonight we regroup after a short break with a creator who is California-based, posting just under 500 subscribers going into our show. Tonight kicks off our start with our California friends, joining the streams for the next several months. So that'd be nice to get to know them.
Yes.
Our first guest from California is a relatively new creator with a ton of passion. He's a U.S. Army veteran, award-winning illustrator, and proud father of 2 amazing daughters. Neurodiv Disney is a channel dedicated to helping families on the spectrum survive the day at the happiest place on earth.
Yes.
They are a go-to resource for Disneyland accessible tips, helping you create an unforgettable, accessible adventure for everyone in your family. Joining us in just a few minutes will be Pete, the passion behind the inspirational Neurodiv Disney. And just for clarification, that's West Coast Pete.
That's correct.
To our East Coast Pete.
As opposed to this knucklehead, you got a really good guy coming in here. And Debbie Bernfeld is dropping the links for their social medias and their YouTube. I'm challenging this chat tonight. I want to see them pick up 10, 15, 20 subscribers tonight. This is a great little channel with solid content, and you're going to hear a lot about what they do, the special way they go about bringing additional information for those who I learned a lot preparing for this interview, and I'm excited for what we're going to have here tonight. All right, so we've got everything ready to go, and there's only one thing to do, which is this is the part where I get to have some fun with all of the ladies and ask you guys some unique, fun questions. But before we do, Miss Minter, do we have anybody that's joined us?
We do. We have a few people that joined us. We have Debbie Rahev, AB, AJC Magic TV, Julie McGowan, Kelsey Elizabeth, Ellie, and we have Jeanette Sebastian the Crab and Martin Memphis.
Nice. Welcome into all of our good friends here tonight. Miss Bernfeld will continue to drop the link throughout the night so you can click on it and give a follow over to Neurodiv. All right, let's have some fun. Just some unique questions that I like to do from time to time. Miss Minter, I'm going to start with you since you were kind enough to do chat tonight. If there were no repercussions, who would you prank call tonight right now?
Bob Paycheck.
Bob Paycheck. Oh, that's actually a really good one. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, I'll give you that one. If we had his number, I would call it if there was repercussions. I don't care. I would give anything to have that phone number. If anybody gets it, please give it to me. Good answer. I'll go with that. Stephanie, what game show do you think that I would be really good at? What's the one you'd want to put me on to see me make a fool of myself?
Oh, okay. So I didn't take it from quite that perspective because I didn't want to rip you a new one on TV. So I was thinking more like Survivor because of your life. Like you have been through so much and you still are happy and you don't let life get you down. And so I'm just thinking Survivor. I mean, if you can survive what you've been through, you can do anything.
All that is awesome. But
yeah,
there's water challenges and I would sink. I am half metal.
Well, it's okay. We can make you a bamboo float or something. If we're stuck on an island, we'll help you.
Okay, good deal. We'll go.
But I think it would be funny to see you on The Bachelor.
On The Bachelor?
Not that, I mean, Nanette is, just pretend. We're just so if we.
I'll go. I'm ready to go.
I just think you would just be, Mr. Charm. So I would enjoy watching that.
Good deal. I like it. Jen, if you could dip your Oreo into something other than milk, what would it be? And please don't say cheese because of Doug.
Oh, I was just going to say it has to be nacho cheese for Doug.
Oh.
I mean, isn't that the Pete McDevitt Show channel thing these days? Nacho cheese on everything?
You can't put cheese on a cookie.
Sure you can.
Okay. All right. I'll give it.
Say frosting.
Okay. Frosting I'll go with. I like frosting.
Ice cream?
Yeah. Frosting and ice cream. Yeah. But, oh, God, cheese.
That's for you, Doug.
I think Doug puts cheese on Belinda. I can't keep. He puts cheese on everything. So,
well, that'd be better than an Oreo.
Well, that's true.
Because those flavors just don't mix.
That's true. Miss Sammy D, if you could teach a dog to do one human thing, what would it be?
So as I was reading this question, I was in the middle of walking Penny, and she was trying to chase a little baby duckling. And I just kept yelling at her, like, I wish you would use the bathroom in our house. I'm going to go with that question.
If you figure that out, please let me know, because
Yeah,
I would
same.
like to.
That's good.
You know, I've heard people do it with their cats.
That's true.
So-
I've seen it. Yeah, on things with their cats. So.
I would love to have my dog do it, just so we can save the little ducklings in my neighborhood.
I love it. I love it. Always love this segment because we get to have a little fun and smiles as we bring our guest in. I always like to see that. I'm going to do that and bring my guest in and turn over the reins of this show to Stephanie. Our guest tonight is an amazing gentleman. I've had the chance to sit and talk with him outside of the streams, and I'm always thoroughly impressed by his passion for what he does with his channel. I am blessed to be impressed by his love and passion for doing everything he can for his daughters. He's a great dad. He's a solid creator, working on a lot of good stuff. Coming in to join us here, it is Neurodiv Disney. He is, he's not, well, I guess he'd be repeat, but I don't know. And he's got a dog with, no, we have a no animal policy. Just let you know.
It's not a dog.
Oh,
It's not. It's a puppet.
Not at all.
not at all.
Oh gosh, how cute! Oh my gosh, she's such a
That's our dog Beans. That's our blessing Beans. Yeah, she. I got to tell you, I lost my number one dog December of 22, and then I did not take it well at all. And then I lost my job in January of 23. And then while I'm at my lowest, I mean, I am tanked out on this. Nikki's boyfriend at the time, he calls up and he's like, hey, I got a brother that needs to move, and we have this rescue dog. Do you guys want a dog that you can foster and take care of? And I was like, yes, I want a dog. And so Beans came over, and she literally sat in, I wore a hoodie backwards, stuck her in the hood, and then just walked around with her for about a month and a half. And yeah, she's one of the most awesome dogs we've ever had. She's a pitador. She's a combo pit lab. So you take the intelligence of a pit, the temperament of a lab, you mush them together, and you got a dog.
Wow.
There you go. Well,
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
pets are key for all of us here, whether it's cats or it's dogs. Most of the ladies here have an affiliation or a love for one or the other, or sometimes both. So we welcome that in. Let's have some fun. As long as she's not coming in to do the interview, we're good. So that's good here. So Stephanie, don't try to interview the dog. Please interview Pete. Let's go.
But if she wants to come back and put her head on your shoulder, I'm okay with that.
Isn't that adorable?
Yes, it was
my
so
other
cute.
dog, my other dog Chewy, is upstairs. We're in the middle of a flash flood warning and a severe weather. You know, you guys are talking about how it's cooling down, and now that it's September, it jumped to like 111 yesterday. It's 108 today with thunderstorms and rain, and I mean it sucks. So my other dog Chewy is upstairs, hiding underneath the blankets, underneath the blasting fans in my room that keep it just temperate.
Yes.
So
that's
anyway,
good.
yes, questions.
You have
guys have
a
questions?
thunder jacket. She needs a thunder jacket, or he. Anyway.
No, she's fine.
Oh, she's good. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
she's great.
All right, so I'm going to start us off tonight, and I would like, if you wouldn't mind, to share a short introduction of yourself for our viewers and for folks that might not know who you are yet. So,
Absolutely. Everybody, hi, my name is Pete. I'm from Southern California, and I am half of Neurodiv Disney. Unfortunately, Mary, my daughter, who is the Neurodiv and the other half of Neurodiv Disney, is working tonight. She is a theater tech, and she's running sound tonight. And she wasn't supposed to, but they pulled her in, and there we go. So, show must go on for her as well.
right.
We've been doing this for just over a year. And I think it's like a year, either a week ago or a year, 10 days ago, that we really started doing this. And this came out of sort of a necessity. I did not like the fact that I had lost, like I said, I lost my job, I lost my dog. And then in April of the same year, we lost our house, we had to move. And so there was so much turbulation going on that is that even a word? I made this decision that I wanted to have something that no one could take away from me. And, you're supposed to go through like one crisis at a time. And I was going through 3 within 4 months. Wow. it was really hard. We were given the house that we were living in, we were renting was foreclosed. We were given, I think, like 8 days to move, maybe 7 days to move, find a new place and everything else like that. And I got to tell you, we run on faith around here. After everything that we've been through, well, we run on faith, and we were able to find a place to live later that same day, moved in the day before we had to move out. Yeah, no, that's a whole nother story. But I wanted to make this thing, and I sat down with Mary, and I was what am I good at? I'm a graphic designer, and I've been a graphic designer for decades. So what am I really good at? And Mary said, well, you're a good dad. And then I gave her $20. I thought that was a great answer. And she said, you're really good at Disneyland stuff. And I've always had a passion for it. So we kind of kicked the can around, and we eventually came up with this idea that, well, what do we know about Disney that other people don't know? And what we really know is how to survive the park. Mary's autistic, and she got diagnosed in 2007. And since then, we've been going to the park as a dad-daughter duo. And that's been 18 years. So 18 years of being a single parent, taking an autistic kid to Disneyland and trying to help navigate through all that stuff. There'd be days we'd get there at noon at 8 o'clock, and we'd leave at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then there's days that we'd get there at noon and leave at noon 30. And so we just took all of our information, we started compiling it, and I said, okay, cool. We're going to have this channel where we're going to give everybody a neurodivergent experience at Disneyland. I had no idea how I was going to do that, but we ended up coming up with, binaural surround sound, which took a while to figure out. Mary and I sat down with that. Mary is my sound designer, so she came up with what we have. 4K, obviously, and then it was a phone, and then it was a camera, and now it's a better camera, and so all these things they just started to kind of transpire. And before I knew it, I said, I've been a photographer for years, I've been a designer for years. This is going to be cake. I'm just going to walk into the park, I'm going to point my camera, and it's going to be magic. And I walked into the park, I pointed my camera, I came home, and we all got seasick because we had no idea what we were doing. And even though I had a gimbal, I'm, walking with a gimbal, thinking everything's steady. And for like 2 months, we didn't put out any content because I couldn't watch it. You couldn't watch it. No one wanted to watch this stuff. And eventually I got to go to Disneyland again this week. Oh my gosh, this is the 4th time this week, which used to be, who doesn't want to go to Disneyland 4 times in 1 week? Right? And so, I eventually started getting footage down, and I was that weird guy walking real smooth. And, I have this giant microphone with a muff attached to it so that we can get all of our sound, and it's on a gimbal. So everybody's staring at you, and a big camera. And I answered the question, what are you doing? Not do you have a YouTube channel, which seemed like the most obvious question, but a lot of people, what are you doing? And so over time, we started to get it right. And what we're doing now is you can do any one of our walkthroughs, our ASMR walkthroughs, our ride-throughs, parades, everything with this sound. You put on headphones and you're there. It's everything above, below, and around you. You hear, why do kids hate It's a Small World? It's got to be the song, right? No, it's because you can hear the air conditioning. You can hear all the joints clicking. You can hear the water rushing by. And when you put on your headphones here, you hear that. So now you start to understand, I can't really filter that out anymore. And all of the little ticks and sounds, and you can hear the music from the next room, the music in the room you're in, the music from the room you just were in. And so the sensory overload starts going on. And we just thought, okay, this is the first step. Parents got to understand what their kids are going through so they can advocate for their kids. Advocation leads to education. Education leads to empowerment. So let's do this. And then the next thing, and I said, we'll do it when we hit 500. And ladies and gentlemen, we just hit 500 subscribers. So thank you so very flippin' much. I can't believe 500 people want to watch what we do.
And we're going to try to get you a bunch more. We're going to talk a lot more about the how the autism applies to Disney as we go through this interview. We're excited to hear more about that. You were talking so elegantly there. I just wanted to let it go and let people do that. Angela, let me jump in and say hey to you real quick. I know we've had some more people come in, and I know you've got some other questions we want to do. And thank you, Christina G. She says, I just subscribed to Neurodiv. So thank you, Christina G.
Thank you, Christina G.
Here we go. Angela, say hello to some new friends, and then how about if you take some questions for me?
Right. So we have Jonathan Chong, Lila Rhodes, Zippity Doo Doug, Jen's Crochet, Christina G, and it's Joey's World joining us.
Nice. Awesome people. Everybody's saying hello to West Coast Pete. There we go.
Hi, everyone.
Angela, I don't know if your cat hit it, but your camera shifted a little bit there. You're half off the screen. I don't know if you noticed that by chance.
The cat.
There you go. It could have been. There you go.
Well, it's also, I think my box is like really
Tight.
tiny.
There we go.
Also, Chris S. just jumped in.
Hello, Chris.
So, you were acknowledged as an international award-winning illustrator. Would you be kind enough to share with us a little bit about this acknowledgement?
Sure. This actually goes, the reason I got to this point is because about 20 years ago, 20 years ago, I had a chance to apply to a position as a graphic designer entry level for Walt Disney Imagineering. And they said they really wanted to see some illustration stuff, not just some graphic design stuff. So I put together my portfolio and I sent it to them. And I had a guy on the inside I was familiar with, I won't say friends with because we weren't, but I knew Wing Chao, and he was kind of walking me through the process. And he said, your portfolio is going to get rejected. I said, fantastic. He said, it's going to happen a lot. He had to get 2 degrees before they even looked at him. And so my portfolio comes back, and I call him up and I say, hey, what do you guys think? And they said, wow, you lack all talent and ability. We never want to see anything from you again. And I took that as fighting words. And I thought, you know what? No one gets to tell me what I'm worth. And so I sat down and I started writing out to all the artists that I admired across the world. How do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do these things? And I started applying what I knew. And so I started fighting for my artistic life. And eventually, I got one look here, one look there. And then I did a picture called Rage. And I didn't pay attention to it. It had like 200 views on my portfolio site. Mm-hmm. And then I got a message saying that there was 2,000 views, then 8,000 views, then 28,000 views. And they were just exponentially going up. And I couldn't figure out what's going on. And when I looked into it, there was a company that had taken it against the thousands of entries that I apparently had put it into. And they said, you're one of the top ones. Boom.
Wow.
And so then that led to more people now contacting me. How did you do that? That led to more opportunities to just refine what I do. And then, I get a call from some art group in Japan. Hey, you're one of our top 3 artists. Hey, I get one from India. Hey, you're our top artist for this quarter. And it just starts kind of building up. And all of a sudden, it's so weird to wake up one morning and I'm getting emails from people saying, your art inspired me to write songs. Your art inspired me to do that. Who are you? How did you find out about? Oh, didn't you hear in Russia there was an art competition and they took international winners and they combined them and you're the top 5. Oh, didn't you hear in Australia you had this happen and you're in the top 2? And the next thing, and then I started getting all these certificates and all these other opportunities to be an artist, and it just kind of blossomed out of that. Wow. It was unexpected and awesome. It was wonderful.
Love it.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Thanks.
So D23 and Disney 100 are magical numbers and letters combined.
Yes.
You've had the opportunity to work with Disney on these. Can you share with us with this in your life?
Sure. The last job I held was for a production company out here. I can't really give their name because of a non-disclosure agreement, but Disney came to them and they said, we need somebody that can handle, who went to D20? No, you guys probably didn't because you're on the East Coast, but on the East Coast, you guys got the D23 arch, the Disney 100 arch that came in, and it was like faceted. That's mine. I got to run the color correction. I got to run the printing, and I got to make sure that the whole thing was signed off and looking great before it went out. There are some statues at Disneyland. You may or may not have heard of them. There was a Mickey Mouse statue at the front of the entrance.
Front of the entrance,
there was a Minnie Mouse. There's a from Coco, the little kid from Coco. I'm drawing a blank right now, and I don't want to say his name.
Miguel.
That's the guy. Yeah. I worked on those silver statues. There were 3D files, and I helped clean them up and extrude some of the edges and things like that. And so that we got to work on the badges and the shields. We got to work on just a bunch of little things for the park, and that was like everything I ever wanted to be growing up was right there. And the second they said Disney wants us to, Disney wants us to what? And how do we sign up for this one? And it's me. And I was, maybe a little bit too eager, and everybody kind of laughed about it. But I will say that out of everybody that told them that the quote was wrong on the Mickey statue, it was me, and I don't know why they didn't change it. So that's like my only gripe about it, because that was a hard one to watch on Twitter the next day.
I love it. That's
because you knew about that, right? Mm-hmm. That the Walt Disney quote was wrong.
The Walt Disney quote was wrong.
And the next day, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's okay. No one's going to notice." And the next day, when they revealed it, there was like 3,800 messages on Twitter within 20 minutes.
Yeah, everybody went crazy.
Yeah, I just hit up the right desk after that.
Wow. Real quick, I want to say, make sure you're following all the social medias. Debbie Bernfeld's been dropping it consistently. We want to get Pete's, they're working to get to 1,000, and we can make a difference tonight by subscribing to their channel and checking out their content. So please click their YouTube channel and subscribe. Before I go over to Sammy real quick, Angela, do we have anybody else you want to say hello to real quick?
Yes. We want to say hello to Lunda Roland, Space Mountain Dave Cantrell, and Park Bros.
Nice. And if you're new to me, please hit that subscribe tonight so you can watch these ladies every Sunday night, as they are amazing. Miss Sammy D, let's go down a different path. Where are we going?
All right. So you listed Herbert Ryman, ex Mary Blair, Tony Baxter, and the 9 old men, Blair Gibson, Bob Gurr, John Hench, as impactful people in your life. Would you please elaborate on this?
Yeah, so growing up in Northern California, I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. We came down to Disneyland once a year when I was a kid, when we were visiting our family in Long Beach. And I think I was about 5, maybe 6, when I said to my dad, "This is absolutely amazing. Who made this?" Obviously it was Walt Disney, and it was at 6 that my dad said, "No, Walt Disney is dead." And then that was like one of the worst Disney trips I ever had in my entire life. But I started to ask questions as to, well, kids didn't make this, adults made this. And so who are these adults? And back then you would ask a question, they would write it down, and they would do a little research, and then they'd send you a letter. And so I got this letter when I was like 7, and they were saying, well, we have very many talented artists, such as, and so, Exoticio and Mary Blair. I loved Mary Blair. I loved her style. I didn't realize she was in all these other movies, and finding all these things out meant I had to go to the library and had to read a book. And with all those library books and everything else, I got to see a lot of the artwork. And it was at that time that my learning disability really started to kick in. And so I really wanted to be an Air Force pilot. And then I got glasses. So I'm not going to be a pilot, but I'm going to be an aeronautical engineer. And then I did not get math. So I'm not going to be an engineer. Then I wanted to, then I was like, well,
it's a little bit important.
Yeah, apparently. And it's like, well, if I can't design, what's wrong? And so this excellent little kid started to draw art, and then kind of find inspiration, and coming across these artists, I'd never seen anything. I'd never seen concept art before. I didn't even know it was a thing. And the more I watched and the more I learned and the more I read and the more I took in, the more my art started to really flourish. And so I didn't know any other artists growing up. It's impossible in the 70s and 80s to find out who artists are, you know, and even if you know their name, there's nothing you can do with it. But if nothing else, Disney is so well documented that I can take a look at Herb Ryman's concept work for, you know, like New Orleans Square. And out of that, I can say, oh, well, he puts in a lot of detail. So I started to put in a lot of detail on, oh, you know, X is, you know, doing all these great things, and he's a writer, so I have to write stories for my artwork. And you know, Blaine Gibson, he wasn't even a sculptor, but Walt Disney one day said, I think you'd be good at it, so maybe I'd be good at this. And, you know, it like gave me hope and inspiration that just because I didn't have the formal training didn't mean I couldn't do that.
Right.
And so I really leaned heavy into it when I was a kid, that, yeah, you know what, I got this learning disability, but man, can I draw a line. And so I stuck with that regardless of what happened. So that's why they are, is because it was, you know, there's not many artists out there that can say millions of people have stood in front of what they've created and made it part of their history. You know, my family, we always had a picture of us in front of the Adventureland sign. You know, every year we go just to show growth, right? And then you find out that billions of people have stood in front of the Adventureland sign and had their pictures taken. You know, how do you get that? How do you become that and not have an impact on your life that something you created had worth outside of a painting or a scribble on a wall? Not that those aren't great, but there was something about the fact that they created a place where I felt like I was, I mean, in all reality, I grew up in a very abusive home. And I was adopted, and I never really felt like I belonged, except for when we were at the park. And when we were at the park, my family was a family, and we did family things, and we went and had family stuff. And I just thought, you know, if grown men can do this, then it's okay for me to be an artist. If grown men can make me feel like this, then it's good for me to keep pursuing this. And that's really what I've focused on. And that's why, because they made me feel like I could do it too.
I love it. Love it. Moderators, keep us up to date on the subscriber count for Neurodiv throughout the night. We're asking everybody for a subscriber drive for this great channel. Sammy, I know you had another question that I saw. I think it involves Bob Gurr, doesn't it?
It does. It does. So, okay. So many people have interacted with Bob Gurr over his lifetime. However, your interaction with him has a unique story. Would you like to share that with us?
Yeah, this is how the internet gets you in trouble. So Bob Gurr had been on. So this is about a year and a half after I had been rejected from Disney's process and that whole thing. I told the lady that told me, "Oh, you lack all talent and ability." I said, "Well, you haven't heard the last of me." And she said, "We really don't care." And you know, I sat down on the bed and I realized that the magic sometimes ends at the gate. You know, there's the corporate side that they protect what they have. And I was listening to a podcast with him on Mice Age. It was either Mice Age or Mice Chat before it was with Dusty Sage when he was just coming out into the world. And I thought, you know what, Bob has a company called Bob Gurr Enterprises or something like that. I'm like, man, I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find out who that is. I'm gonna call the number. I'm gonna leave a message, and maybe I'll get some advice, because I didn't know how to handle my emotions. And so, like 2 hours later, I tracked down this number, and 3 days later, at 10 o'clock at night, when I was sure that there would be no one there, I called the number, and it rings 3 times, and I hear no. And I was like, that's weird that there's somebody here. And I said, "Hi, Bob?" He says, "Yeah, who's this?" And I said, "Oh my God, dude, I thought I was calling your shop. I am so sorry." He's like, "Well, how'd you get my number?" And he was mad. I don't blame him. It's late, you know, and I'm calling Bob at his house. I was like, "Well, how'd you get my number?" And I said, "Okay, ABC XYZ 1 2 3. This is what happened. Don't be mad." And he just says, "Well, I guess you can find anything if you look hard enough on the internet, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess you can." And he said, well, you got me on the phone. What do you want? And I was like, well, first off, thank you for everything you've done and the impact. Yeah, what do you want? And I was like, right. Okay, so I got rejected from Disney, and it's really hurtful, and I don't know how to move forward with it. What should I do? And he gave me the best advice you could ever ask for from anybody. And he said, screw him. What? He said, screw him. How old are you? And I said, I'm 27. He said, don't even worry about it. You, whatever they say, you don't want to be there because they're just going to throw you up. They're going to spit you up. They're going to keep everything that you have. And then you're going to be, what are you going to be? 32 and burnt out. I was like, right. And he goes, you go out into the world and you make your mark. You tear it up. You create new art. You do things no one's ever seen. You become the greatest thing that you possibly can. You become who you're supposed to be, the artist you're supposed to be, the impact you're supposed to have, and the entire world is going to watch you. The entire world is going to embrace you. And then at 70, you go back and you say, hey, you blankety blanks, either you hire me or you're the biggest fools that I knew you were all the way back when I was a kid. Okay. I can do that. And he goes, yeah, that's what you do, because you need to be the one that they want. They already know you want them. They need to turn around and find out who you are, your greatness, your artwork, your amazement. That's how you make a mark on this world. And I was like, Bob, I don't even know what to say. He goes, why did we get it tonight? Click. Never talked to him again. Lost the number, threw the phone away, sat on my bed for another 2 weeks, and I thought about it. And I thought, he's absolutely right. I need to go out and be Pete Jacobins. I need to be me. And so every art I've ever created, it's never under a pseudonym. It's always been my name. I want people to know who I am. So when something I made gets used in a magazine, or people start, look at that and they say, that's cool, I want to cosplay that, and then they do, it's mine. It's not somebody else's. Anybody can say, oh, I'm, Joe Schmuckatelli, the artist, because you don't know. But I can say, well, I'm Pete Jacobins. Here's my ID. Here's my Disney pass. This is the guy. And so I'm 51. I got another 20 years before I go back to Disney and lay it on what Bob said to do. And we're going to do it.
I love it. I love it. I
Wow.
love it.
That's so powerful.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the most incredible conversation I ever had. And he instantly became a hero, especially the part where he's not about the fluff and stuff. He just wanted to go back to bed.
That's
There you go.
That's a
Wow.
great story. I'm going to transfer to Jen.
Well, I want to talk about something that when I heard this, I thought it was amazing. Club 33. Let's talk about that for a second. Club 33 in Disneyland is the holy grail to many Disney fans. And you've been there 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. Would you be kind enough to share reflection on your 3 visits, multiple visits? We'd love to hear it.
First off, I have amazing friends that have money. That's all there is to it. I got some really rich friends, and that's awesome. There was the first time I went, the girls were still really young. I was still married. That's how long ago that was. It was just before the 50th. I got to meet, that's where I met Wing Chow, and that's where I met Bob Weemet, right? Bob Weemet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bob Weemet. And I got to talk to him for about 15 minutes, and that made enough of an impression on Wing that when I reached out to him a couple years later, that's how I got an insider into Imagineering. It was, I was pretty sure I was walking into the holies of holies of Disneyland and of Disney fandom. I didn't even take any. I took pictures, but I was hiding my camera and snapping pictures because I didn't want to be real. I didn't know what the protocol was for any of that. But I had a friend who had he had a corporate membership through his work. And when they found out I was a Disney fan, they had a waitress. They had a receptionist call me up, and she quizzed me for 10 minutes on Disney lore and am I going to be worthy of the invite? And so we got to go back in 2005 when they still had the big buffet. And you could order your regular food, but then they had like, so while you're waiting for your food, they had the all-you-can-eat buffet, and the all-you-eat buffet was packed with like lobster tails, and, thermidor, and just stuff and things. And it was just the most magical experience. We did it a lunch in the afternoon. We were the only people in the restaurant for about an hour and a half, and it was just it's everything that you thought it would be. It's more than that, because like, unless you're there, then you don't really have the ability to understand. But the staff is first rate. The chefs are first rate. And I had the medallions of beef in a port wine reduction. Not that it meant anything to me, right? Because it's only been that long, and I still remember. But I said to the waitress, "Wow, this port wine reduction is great. How'd you guys make this? What's in that?" And she goes, "Hold on, let me find out." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I just kind of like milled around for a little bit, looking at the original artwork for Disneyland and original artwork for, movies and stuff that they had, just priceless stuff hanging on the wall that I could have stolen. And not that I would ever do that. I would never do that. But then she comes back like 10 minutes later, and she says, "I'm sorry it took so long. The chef's off property right now, but I called him and he was at home. And so here's the recipe." That's what Club 33 was. It was, here's how we made it. Here's the list of ingredients. Here's how to do it. Here's how to recreate this port wine reduction at home, because apparently they think I have veal stock lying around, and, saffron and all the other stuff that went into it. And so then the next time I got to go, I was expecting it, but it was like 10 years later. And another friend of mine was like, "Hey, let's go to Club 30. Yes, I'm in. Absolutely. I didn't even care. And the experience had changed, because now it's a prefix menu, but it still has the crystal. It still has the special music. It's still, you're in the middle of the park. You can't hear the park while you sit there. And there's something you forget you're in Anaheim, California. And, it's this linen tablecloth with linen napkins and real silverware and real crystalware. And, 30 minutes earlier, I was eating a popcorn on a garbage can, sipping a Diet Coke. And now I'm here. And we got all dressed up. And I got to tell you, if you ever get a chance to dress up and go to Disney, don't. It's absolutely the worst thing. Wearing a tie in Disneyland is just wrong. I don't care what they say. That's why none of the suits do it either. Don't wear a suit at Disneyland, people. It will ruin you. But, it's a 4-hour meal. And then the third time I got to go was for my birthday a year later. They just, "Hey, let's go to Disney." And I was given a Club 33 gift bag with macaroons and pins and pencils and notepads, just like a bunch of little stuff. And they all sang happy birthday. But, you take all that, when you think about the Disney magic, you think about like Blackbeard's Ghost and Herbie the Love Bug and all the stuff that they made happen on the screen. But when you have an opportunity to actually live the Disney magic in a sense of, we're going to cater the crap out of you, and we're going to give you an experience that you've never had before, and you're going to be happy to eat 100-year-old cheese and sit here for 4 hours and wear a tie. Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And then they opened up this new restaurant, and it's better than that. I don't even know what to think. I mean, I had to go back the next time, and I'm still having chili dogs at Coke Corner. That's cool. But no one was pouring my water the way they did, and no one cleared out my place the way they did. And I'm back and eating on a garbage can. So it was pretty amazing. And, just the fact you get to ring the little bell and, "Yes, can we help you? Hi." In fact, I'm sorry, just indulge me for 1 second. We were coming up to the door for Club 33, and this woman was with her husband, and she says, "I don't understand. What's this?" And he says, "Well, this is Club 33. Only the most elite people go here. I got to tell you, the most beautiful people, the most richest people, they get to go here. We don't get to go here. This is Club 33, and you're..." She's like, "Okay, what are you doing?" Ding dong. Pete, party of 6 for Club 33. And then, going inside, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I didn't deserve to be there, but I got to go. So that was just wonderful.
Love it.
Absolute blast.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
100-year-old
awesome.
cheese. And did you like it?
It's only like this big. It wasn't a lot of 100-year-old cheese, but I mean, you bite into it, and that's the cheesiest cheese you ever cheese. That was more cheese flavor than my entire ancestry has ever sampled in their entire existence, going back to the primordial ooze. Yeah, it was. And I mean, I don't even like cheese that much, but 100-year-old cheese.
Love it.
Awesome.
Jen, what else you got for us? I know you got something else good over there.
Well, I think we know by now that Disneyland is your home park.
Yeah.
But can you tell us of the Disney parks around the world? Do you have a bucket list of where else you would want to visit and why?
Oh yeah, Tokyo for Disney Sea, Hong Kong for the new fantasy section that they opened up, Disney World, because you got to go to the world. You just got to. And then I thought I'd really like to do Disneyland Paris, and just because it's such a different flavor of Disney over there. It's a European flavor. You know what? It's a lot easier just to say, I don't really care if I see the Alani Resort, but everything else that's a theme park, I kind of want to hit, just because you don't know what you got. You know, it's hard. Walt Disney always said it's hard to choose between one. So what's my favorite park? Well, I only got one to choose from. So it's that one. But I would love to go out and just kind of experience the people, the cast members, the shows, the way that they do Disney is going to be different than the way that California does. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. The way that California does Disney is going to be different from everywhere else in the world. And I think if you're a true Disney-aholic, you want to experience what all these other international Imagineers and the Oriental Land Company and everything else. You want to experience how they perceive Disney and what it means to these other people. And you know, like I have what I call my Disney testimony, you know, but outside of that, I don't know anybody else that has that type of a thing. So I want to go meet those people. I want to see what they think. I want to feel what they feel. And if I have to take a cruise ship and go around the world the whole way, yeah, probably a Mickey Mouse cruise ship would do it.
Go for it. Sounds
That'd
good.
be awesome.
Those are great questions, Jen. I want to jump over to Stephanie because I really want to talk about the autistic flavor of your channel, what you bring that is unique, creative, and special. So, Angela, let me ask you real quick. Did anybody else join? I don't want to leave anybody out.
Yes. We had Katie Y,
Mm-hmm.
Elissa Neal, and Matt Sambatu.
Well, hello, friends. Good to see you.
And Urban Family Adventures.
Oh, nice. Hey, Sean. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining in tonight. Steph, let's take a roll with it. Let's go into your side of the questioning.
All right. Sounds great. Ready, Pete? Okay.
Ready.
Okay. So you have a passion for educating those about autism for better understanding in your pastimes on this channel. Would you please be kind enough to take a moment and share how autism has affected your life?
Yeah, so autism, when Mary got diagnosed, it was the same year that Nikki got diagnosed with her learning disability, and it was 2 months after my wife left. So all of a sudden I was a single parent of 2 special needs kids, and Mary was in 3rd grade, so she got diagnosed a little late in life. And you know, my ex is who she is, and you know, God love her and everything, so I don't want to like rag on her, but she kind of decided that there really wasn't a thing as autism. In fact, we had Mary diagnosed like 6 or 7 times before she accepted the diagnosis. But she made it very clear that of all the things that were important to her at that point in her life, they didn't make the top 5. And so I had a really hard sit down with my mom and my dad, and I said, look, I can't be that dad that sticks my kid in an institution or after school help or preschool help. You know, I can't work 60 hours a week or even really 40 hours a week and take care of everything else. And so my dad said, we got your back, make the hard decisions, we'll fill the gaps when we can. And so at that moment in 2007, like everything I wanted to be as an artist, in a relationship, and as an employee, as just got shelved. It just didn't exist anymore. There's a quote in the Bible that we talk about a lot, which is, and not to get preachy, but it's no greater love is he than he that lays down his life for his fellow man. And I used to think that meant that I had to die. But really, I took my life. If you can imagine everything in your life that makes your life, and you put it in a box, and then you just set it aside. And, it's going to be there. I have the rest of my life to be rich and famous and beautiful. I have the rest of my life to be a world famous artist. I have the rest of my life to be, everything that I ever dreamed of being. But I got one shot at being a dad. And so I'm going to take it. And so everything I did from there on out was for Mary and Nicole. And so autism made me grow up to be the man I am. Okay. It taught me patience. It taught me long suffering. It taught me to be, kind. And it taught me how to connect with somebody that does not connect with me. And so, everything about it just became harder. I had to learn how to be a mom. I had to learn how to be a dad. I had to learn how to be a caseworker, a social worker. I had to get her doctor's appointments and make sure the school was running her IEP the right way. I had to make sure that everything was being followed. I had to teach her how to give her friends hugs so that she didn't tackle kids. I had to teach her how to cook. I had to teach her how to drive, just everything that is culminating into who Mary is becoming. I had to stop. You can't do both. It's not a movie. You don't get to be a doctor and really good with kids. You don't get to, make wood furniture and be able to dedicate 100 hours a week to your family. You do one or the other, and you make up the rest as you go along. And so that's what I did. And we made up the rest when we were trying to figure out how to help Mary just get through the day. Mm-hmm. There were times where I'd get calls from this. One time I got a call from the school saying that Mary didn't make it to school. And so I figured she was sick. She was with her mom that week. And I called her up and I said, hey, look, I know Mary's sick and she's at home, but can Nikki still come to dinner tonight? And she said, Mary's not sick. Mary got dropped off at school. Where's my daughter? So I ran up to the school and they called the police and we were putting together an Amber Alert. And there was this, voice in the back of my head, go outside. And I went outside, go out, go to the flagpole, went to the flagpole, go down the street, went down the street. I got people chasing me. No, you got to sign this thing. We got to get this Amber Alert out. Went down to the park. Okay, I'm in the park. What do I do now? And it's going to the bathroom. Okay, so I just walked right into the ladies' room. And I started banging on doors and I get to the third door and I hit it and it's locked. And Mary? Yeah? What are you doing? It's 12:30. You got dropped off at 8 o'clock. You've been gone for 4.5. Are you okay? Well, Dad, I didn't finish my homework and I'm just scared because I don't want to be in trouble again. You're okay. School's over for today. Let's go. Collect up your kid. You know what? If I'm working 3 hours away, 70 hours a week, there's no way in hell I could ever be there. There's no way I could ever be there for my daughter to help her not be scared as she hides in a bathroom, eating her lunch, trying to figure out math that no one's teaching her. How did autism change? So it changed every single fiber of my being, what I believed in, what I wanted, what I focused on, the dad I wanted to become, the man I needed to become, the leader I needed to be. Every single second of being her dad, being Nikki's dad, it changes you to the very core of your foundation. Wow. And that, I just leaned into, I embraced it and I said, okay, I wish things were different, but they're different. Here we go. Let's go.
That's beautiful in itself. Steph, before you go to the other thing, I think, Sammy, do you want to jump in for a second real quick?
I did. Okay, I'm going to try to hold these tears in. Okay, so when my son got diagnosed with autism, it was so hard. Like the whole world just shattered. And thank you, puppy. And
cute.
And I remember just sitting on the bathroom floor, just crying, just trying to figure out what the world meant, what my life was going to consist of. And I remember a little voice in my head just saying, okay, cry, but get up and tomorrow's a new day and somebody's life depends on you. So I just remember just kind of having to learn everything. I ended up becoming an RBT myself to learn all the lingo from all the therapists and stuff like that because I had no idea what was going on. And I remember just sitting in every IEP meeting and everything, and now looking back and seeing how far Aiden has gotten, I don't even know how I did it or what I did. But I feel like I created a really cool kid, and I think that he is going to be great in the world. So I appreciate everything that you said, and I totally relate to it because it was hard.
And you know what? I would, faced with the same challenges, the same choices, the same thing, I do it 100 times over and over and over and over again. It's been such an incredible journey. I can't even imagine my life without it.
Oh, absolutely. And even now when I sit in his IEP meetings and they're like, "Oh, you're so feisty," and I'm like, "Yeah, I've been fighting forever, and
Yep.
I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing, and he's my most prized possession. Like, I love my
Yeah.
my second son, but I didn't work. You know, I'll never work as hard as I did with Aiden, and everything I did with
Oh,
Aiden than I did with my second one, and it's just a completely different like type of love. It's just, I always tell Aiden, you are my most prized possession.
How old is your son?
He's 11.
He's 11. So Mary's 21. She drives. She goes to college. She has a job. She's planning for her future. And this was when she got diagnosed. She said that everybody said if she lives on her own, it would be a miracle. And, she'll be living in the house for a while. I'll give you that. She's 21, but it's kind of like having a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old. But the work that you put in, you totally get back. And there's some things that are out of your control. And that's just life, man. That's war. But I know that the work you're putting in for your son is going to come back because it has to. That's how it works. You put in the effort, you put in the energy, and then you create this amazing. It's like second time you get to create something. You get to create a life, and I'm so proud of you for doing that because I know how hard that is.
It
is
very
so
hard.
awesome.
I love it. That's a beautiful testimonial by both you and Stephanie. Great question. I love that. Absolutely unbelievable, guys. If you're not subscribed to Neurodiv Disney to keep up with the passion, the energy, and everything that's going on, you're missing out. All the socials are in there, but please give their YouTube channel follow. We're trying to drive them up today, and we're doing a good job of it. I want to drop down, Angela, if you would. Could you talk a little bit about? I know you want to talk a little bit about some of the creative role and all that, and I think people would love to hear that.
First, before I get into that, I want to welcome in Pirate Girl Trish and Sean Nguyen.
Thank you.
So, you have a unique creative process in finding your inspiration. In addition, understanding neurotypical senses plays a key role. Please share with us a little bit about your creative process.
Yeah, so it's a little different, I think, than most people do. I never went to college for it. My father was so against me being a photographer or designer or an illustrator that he never helped me with that. So I just kind of did apprenticeships throughout my whole life to learn these things. But I learned from these men and women that they saw the end. They know what they wanted. And they knew what it would look like, and they just had it already finished in their head. And then they worked their way backwards. Okay, so if this needs something, then I have to have a light here, I have to have a camera here, or I have to have paint here, or whatever it was. They organized it as a finished piece, and then they just filled it in however they wanted to do it. And so that was, I think, I didn't learn how to be my own artist. I learned how to be like them. And so that whole idea of standing on the shoulders of giants, it really came into play with that because I no longer had to try to figure out how did I want to become an artist. I just had the vision in my mind. And so now I'm working backwards from it. And I think that's why I waited so long for putting content out, because what I saw in my head and what I was getting on the screen were two totally different things. I didn't want to have my name attached to it. But even when it comes to art, it really has to do with, do you have the vision of what you want to create? And you can apply that to your life. You can apply that to business. You can apply that to your job. Do you have a vision of what it is going to look like when you're finished? Okay, cool. So if you know it's going to look like this, then you know you have to do this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and you work your way backwards to the blank slate. The blank slate, you get to make that first mark. So the process for me is just taking the time to literally veg out for 2 or 3 weeks. Sit on my bed, watch a lot of movies, TV, look at other artists that I love, read books, and just kind of in the back of my head, let my brain formulate what's going on. And then eventually I have a finished idea in my head, and all I have to do is sit down and put it on paper.
That's impressive. It's, it's a little bit different process to bring what you're bringing, but it's definitely absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. I think we wanted to go over to Sammy. Sammy, you got a good one I'd like to hear. Oh, you're muted.
While she's
sorry
unmuting,
about that.
welcome in Corby Sinclair.
Hello, Corby. Go ahead, Sammy.
All right. So most people don't realize that sensory smells can also play an aspect for those who are autistic. Will there be more deep dives into the sensory perspective in your videos?
Yeah, I said when we hit 500, and I just looked, we're at 512 right now, so I have some writing to do. What we're going to do is talk about different parts of the park and how loud they are, the type of line you're going to get into, how easy it is to get out of the line, what kind of smells you're going to have in the area. Disney always will tell you through their accessibility section of their webpage, if you can find it. If you can find it, it'll let you know that there's like weird smells on the ride. And then we'll describe what those weird smells are, what those strong smells are. Haunted Mansion Holiday, which I know you guys unfortunately don't have to deal with, in the ballroom scene, there is a giant gingerbread house that they make every year, and they pump in the smell of gingerbread. And if you're not ready for that, that will blow your socks off, because that is gingerbread times 1,000. So yeah, we want to bring in and let people know it's not just the ride through. Now it's going to be okay. Welcome to the Haunted Mansion. On the Haunted Mansion, it's a 7-minute ride. You're going to have a 2-minute pre-show. You're going to have this type of a line that are going to have these types of elements. You're going to smell these types of things when you're on the ride. There's going to be moments of darkness, loud noises, loud music. We're going to break down everything that happens on the ride, and not just a ride through. So you have this opportunity to pre-plan what's going to happen while you're there. And it's funny, our little logo, that's actually Mary. Mary drew that. That's
Very
a
cool
caricature that Mary did of Mary, but we have for everything that you're going to run into on the ride, like moments of darkness, it's her with night vision goggles on, or at least looking through night vision goggles, and wet, and she's soaking wet, or your feet are going to lift off the ground, or whatever it is. We have all these little pictograms that you can now take a look at and say, oh, okay, it's going to be these elements that we can run into. It's a fun little thing, and what smells you're going to run into. So yeah, it's these we were going to call Neurodiv deep dives, but I think we're going to call it what to expect when you don't expect to get a DAS pass. And that way you can start to plan accordingly to, okay, if I have to get out of line, how easy is it to get out of line? If I have to, rejoin my group, how easy is that? Or what am I going to do? Like, for example, Rise of the Resistance, man, once you're in there, you're screwed. There's no way out. There's no way forward. There's no cast member that's walking around to help you out. So it's good to know that going into those situations. So yeah, that's what we have coming up starting this month.
I love that you're going to be doing that, and I welcome you to share with me. Obviously, I have 3 shows a week that we work on here, where I do my late night hangout, like I'm doing tonight at 11:15 at night, or I'm doing our Friday night show. And Pete, I welcome you, as you put these videos together, to share with me the link, and I will make sure I at least, and if you share a link and your thumbnail over to me, I will highlight those for you, so that more people in our community who are looking to help others that are challenged by this can find your video. I'm not looking for anything for that. I just want to bring more of that to the community. So if you do that, I'll share it out. All I need you to do is give me the information. So
I'll appreciate that. Yeah, like I don't really care I don't care what I get out of it. If we help one family survive the day,
that's a good thing. Jen,
right.
he's got some inspirational channels that he's brought to your guys' attention. Let's talk with Pete a little bit about that, if you wouldn't mind. You're muted too. Everybody's muted.
I'm not.
There's a lot of swearing going on upstairs since the Browns game is still on, so I just wanted to spare you all of that.
Thank you. Let's get into it.
Okay, so we ask our enhancers to highlight 3 channels. These are the ones that Pete has given to us. The first one is Defunct Land.
You guys know who Defunct Land is, right? Kevin Percher?
I do.
I have watched Defunct Land. Yes, I have.
Okay.
And then,
do you want to tell us about Defunct Land?
So Defunct Land, for me, always Kevin is just such an amazing inspiration for me, because he started out just making like 5-10 minute little videos, and the last one he did was he had written the music that was a musical telling of the construction of Epcot Center, which I thought was absolutely incredible. But just before that one, like 2 before that, he did he released in January, the January that everything was going wrong for me. He released a video on the creator of the Disney Channel mnemonic, the bum dum da dum, and it left all of us in the house in tears, and I really started to worry about my mental health when I'm crying at a YouTube channel. He shows the history of Disney and other amusement parks and other passions that he has, and he answers questions and he tackles questions that no one else does, and he does it in such a fun and exciting and inviting way. You've got to check out Defunct Land. If for no other reason, it's great background noise, and he narrates the whole thing. It's fantastic. Go look at him. You will not be sorry.
Love it.
Cool.
Love it. Love it.
The next one is the Y Files. Can you tell us a little bit about the Y Files?
Sure. AJ and Hecklefish down at the Y Files. They have been around for a few years. They look at things that have nothing to do with Disney stuff. As a matter of fact, they take on urban legends and well, mainly urban legends and what's the truth behind them. And they do it in such a funny way. AJ is a professional documentarian. He's been on the History Channel and the Learning Channel and, Ghost Stories and all these other shows and stuff. And he loves what he does to the point where this is what I listen to. It's a 2-hour drive usually for me to get to the park. So I will throw in a Y-Files episode and learn so much about, the Mothman mystery, or maybe Loch Ness, or maybe about radio stations that broadcast weird numerics. And maybe I'm going to learn today about the time travel theories, or, the simulation theory about life. And it's just fascinating storytelling. So if you love a story and a little CGI fish that talks with a New Jersey accent, you got to check out the Y-Files. Will not be sorry. Cordy in California, I turned her on to that. I said, you got to listen. And then I saw her like 3 weeks later. I said, have you bothered to go? Oh my gosh, I subscribed that night. I could not get enough of it. I listen to it all the time. So if you don't take my word for it, Cordy in California takes it. So that's really good. Who else do you need to hear?
Yep, she's good people. Jen?
Yep, and the third one is Destination Disney. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this guy, So we might have a problem. Destination Disney is a great, they put out fun content, and I love watching them, but I always get them mixed up with Document Disney.
Oh, okay.
I am so sorry. Document Disney is I love this guy. He's been out for a long time. Him and LMG Videos have been doing Disney content forever. And I apologize,
But check out both. Check out Document Disney.
Check out both.
Destination Disney, real quick, is a European channel, family channel. They do a great job. Travel vlogs all over. Excuse me. You can check them out.
But Document Disney, I hate this guy. I love this guy, but I hate this guy. I'll put up my video, and he's my inspiration. Like, I want to be him when I grow up, and I think he's like 20 years younger than me. And I'll look at I'll put together my video, and I'll put together my sound, I'll put together my thumbnail, and I'll put it up there, and like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. And 100 views. Yeah, 100 views. And the exact same thing 2 days later, within an hour, there's like 20,000 views. Oh my God, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like, I either have to take him out or I got to be his friend. And I'm not sure which one I want to be yet, but this guy, if you want more Disney content, that is just the best. I love this guy. You got to check him out. He's amazing.
Love it. Steph, if you could, we've had a great show tonight, and we could probably do another 2 hours with Pete. We might come back and do that after the first year and dig back more into autistic and challenges and what Pete's doing new. But let's recap what we got going tonight, if you would.
Sure. Yes, so tonight was a very special night on our channel, getting to spend time with Pete from California and learning about his life over there with his kids and his Disney path, learning about their channel, Neurodiv Disney, and their dedication to helping families survive a day in the happiest place on earth. They were very generous with their time tonight in education to share with us all about the trials of having special needs and how to work through that. So to have a much better time at your Disney park. So this was a different experience for us, those of us that don't have special needs family members. So it's very enlightening. I think your child is just so lucky to have such a dad like yourself, who took the time to work with her and cared about her. And you have made her life so amazing because you did that. And I want to congratulate you, and same with Sammy. Your kids are so blessed to have parents like you. There's a lot of kids I work with. I'm a teacher, and I've seen kids that just get pushed off to the side that have special needs. But to give up your life in order to change theirs is heroic in my mind. So yes, we found out that a U.S. Army veteran, a photographer, a graphic designer are all things that you've done, an inspirational award-winning illustrator, and motivational creator. And how can any of us not be motivated after listening to you tonight too? You have a really good voice, and
thank you.
Easy to listen to, very nice, and just besides being an amazing dad and a unique, inspirational person yourself. So make sure our social media for him and the channel is being put out there. That would be great. All your social media content is educational, impactful, and created, we know, with love, because that's why you do what you do. So we here encourage everyone to please follow them, share them out. Everybody has to know somebody that could hear this, and it will help someone maybe better understand someone with autism when they go to Disney World too, even if you don't have somebody like that in your family. But it can be educational to everyone. So please share out. And I'm going to transfer over to Jen.
Jen, let's talk about next week's guest. Go ahead.
Yep. So let's talk about next week. Next week, our guests are a mother-daughter tandem that have taken the community by storm over the past year. Their generosity towards Give Kids the World at last year's Magical Night of Hope landed them one of the key nights of interaction with Resort TV1. With 221 videos posted on YouTube and just under 1,000 subscribers and over 134,000 channel views, this creative combo is a special new energy to our community. Heather and Emmy have been seen on multiple channels as featured creators, including Parks with the Pigeons, Resort TV1, Myers and the Mouse, and right here on a Triple C Hangout. Next week, we get the chance to sit down with these two amazing ladies as they will join us live for the Triple C show. We are excited to welcome the Adventurelees next week.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to sitting down with the ladies and talking. Real quick before we do our final thoughts of the night, I just want to highlight a couple quick things. First, tonight we do have our good friends over on Facebook. Who's going live, Jen? We got
it's Main Street Treat Company is going live. They're going to be doing a live sale of merch and a hangout. So everyone should
popcorn buckets too, I heard.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yep. So immediately following the show, go on and check them out. I'll post the link now in the chat.
Jen will post that link over on Facebook. They're doing that over there. So go check them out. Say hello. Tell them I sent them over. They support us a lot. Let's go support them. Chris will be live tonight at 9:00 with his hangout. Everybody should already know Dad Builds. I'd imagine the chat. If you don't, Dad Builds does a great job. Check them out. They'll be hanging out there talking Disney and I don't know what else. It'll be something good. So go over and check that out for sure. I also want to highlight
He may have a few things.
They what?
He may have a couple items to show.
Okay, cool. I also want to highlight Best Disney Adventure. Is September 19th is her next magical moment night. You know, I'm all about helping others. She goes out and every time you donate $12 to her through one of her contributional aspects, Venmo, PayPal, all that, she will take the money directly then and this time she's buying a sword with all the bubble swords and she gives them out to kids. This is 100% legit, 100% behind this. I stand by this. Beyond no means. I love what Beth does. Angela, I believe, will be there live with her this time on that date doing it. So please do me a favor. Subscriber count for tonight for Neurodiv Disney now up to 516. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. That's incredible.
You can find them, of course. You can find our friends over on YouTube, as we talked about here. They before I went into this, they were at 496 when I took the screenshots of 516. That's a pretty good night. I love that. You can find them on YouTube. You also can find them over on Instagram, Neurodiv Disney. They've got 106 followers over there if you want to keep up with them over there. And also on TikTok, the mouse don't drop or whatever they say. But Neurodiv Disney is over there following over there. So they got all kind of social media aspects. Final thought of the night we always try to do here is just our way of saying a little quick thought from us personally, quick and easy and simple and smooth. I'll go all the way to the left. We'll go around the corners. Jen, how about final thought for you for tonight first?
I knew the show was going to be amazing, and it blew away my expectations. Pete, I love listening to you talk. I love your stories. I love your inspiration. I'm so glad you're a part of this community. Can't wait to hear more stories from you and check out what you have coming up on your channel. So thanks for coming tonight.
Love it. Love it. Sammy?
So thank you so much for sharing your story. Before, today I had never heard of you, and I'm so happy that we got to meet you and interviewed. It was fun.
Thank you. Angela?
Thanks for joining us tonight and sharing your insight into a whole different side of doing Disney and creativity and everything. It was such an entertaining and enjoyable chance to get to know you a little better.
Awesome. Thank you. Stephanie?
Thank you, Pete, for being with us tonight and sharing your insights and your story of your journey with your daughters, and God's blessings to you.
Love it. Pete, how about you? Final thought of the night from your side, and then I'll give you mine.
Guys, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this, and not just the interview, but just the community. It's hard to be, it's sometimes hard to find those things, and to find the acceptance that you're looking for. What a great group of people you are. What a great thing you're doing here, Pete. Man, I don't care what I got through or what I had to go through to get to here. I'm just so happy that I'm here. Thank you so much for letting me.
I love it. The first time I got to talk to you, you were on, I believe it was Bob's stream. And
Yeah.
you were in the parks, and I came in here because you were there with you, and I started talking to you. And I think I said something like, I'm going to reach out to you and get more people to know you. And the look on your face was like, who in the name of James Earl Jones is this clown? That was the look on your face, which don't feel bad. That's the look I get from a lot of people. I'm kind of used to it. But part of wanting to open up this East Coast, West Coast opportunity to meet people like yourself, like Bob, like Donnie Land, like Danny out there, and so many others that are out there, great, is to break down these barriers so that, it's not Disneyland people, it's not Disney World people, we are Disney people. Walt said in his first initial opening of Disneyland, to all who come to this happy place, welcome. And that's what this is over here. I'm glad that more people are finding you tonight. I hope that we'll see more of you and our other California friends out here in our streams and vice versa with our people out there. I'm already seeing that as I go out there with some of our people going out there. I do encourage you to make sure you, as you put these videos together, send me a link, send me a thumbnail. Even if you can't make it on, we will definitely highlight it. And, you know, some of these Friday nights when we go live, I'm blessed to do it with Molly, with Angela Minter, and with T. Marie's Place. We do these Friday night shows that we do, and we have times where we bring people in and be a part of that. If that's something you're ever interested in, just to come and talk Disney, to get out of your world for a few minutes. As I say, the greatest thing about all of this little venture, it's the same thing that Jerry Lawler said to me years ago about wrestling. The best thing about stepping into this is leaving your reality behind for a few minutes and having some fun in life. And that's what we do. Thank you for being humble enough to share an incredible part of your life, as both the tough spots and those of blessings. Thank you for serving our country and standing a post for us. We can never say thank you enough for that. And I humbly and gratefully say thank you for being here. Next week on the show, Venture Lees are coming in. I probably won't get a word one in between Heather and Emmy. Let's just be honest. I know that, but I'm excited. It's going to be a great show. We've got a lot of good shows coming up for the next couple of weeks. And tonight, after you watch Dad Builds, if you want to watch some football and listen to Dad Builds, you can have me on, listen to football, watch Dad Builds. You can have Dad Builds on for all the Disney and fun content. Apparently, he's going to have some things to show tonight. Guess what? At 11:15 when I get done, which Chris should be done by then, I've got things I'm going to open. I forgot I had pin boxes, so I'm going to open some stuff at 11:15 tonight. The best part about that is, can I open a box with one hand? That's the fun. So join in. We'll have a good time. See ya. Thank you for watching, everybody. It has been an honor. The ladies do a great job. We'll see you on an adventure coming up real soon. Good night, everybody.
You got a smile that makes the sun